Hey everyone, it's Desiree and welcome. I hope we're having a great day. Today we're going to play with our watercolors, and I am using a stamp set by Anthony's Paper Crafts called Baby Otter. Now you can get this in photopolymer and red rubber, and I will have that linked down below, so if you have a preference between the two, they are available. What I love about this stamp is the detail that the stamp already has. That if you, looking to work with shadows, and you want to see that the stamp set already has that for you, so that can help. These stamps for me really help me to see or to guide where those shadows are going to go for your colors. So you don't have to think too much, you just need to choose the main color. The cardstock that I'm using is Canson watercolor, Canson XL, and I'm using my watercolors and I'm just having some fun mixing up some colors. So we've got some rocks and some grasses, some waters, and all of that, and that's what we're going to fill in. And to use for accents, we're actually going to use a gel pen, a black glaze pen, because I think they do a great job. When it comes to watercolors, and the set that I'm using is by Altenew, they look intense when you bring them down onto your paper, but they will dry back. And the technique that I'm using is called a dry on wet, where my paper is dry and I'm adding the wet paint to it, the wet watercolor. While that's still wet, I'm adding other colors into that so that it will bleed. Now, I did not heat emboss the image, so you want to be aware that as you're adding your colors, if you add another color next to another color, they will bleed together. So you kind of want to skip around just a little bit to let that other color dry a bit. I'm not using a lot of water. I have a piece of paper towel off to the side that once I have my color on my brush, I'm dabbing a little bit of that off. So I'm getting a little bit more pigment than the water. To spread these colors around, that's where I'm coming in with a clean brush to move them. But I'm not, excuse me, I'm not moving them too much because, again, that you can see the image. You've already got your shadows in there. So you don't have to overthink all of the shading. You don't have to mix so many colors. You can let the stamp do the work for you as you're adding your colors. So that's what I do love about these style of stamps, where they've got so much etched markings that you can see the detail already in the image, and we can just have fun with our colors and what we want to add to it to make it come to life, so to speak. You can see I'm working on this adorable otter. He is just way too cute. Putting down those darker colors and then just adding a little bit of water to spread them around. If you want to have that image be a little bit darker, you can add a little bit more pigment to that. Now I just finished the otter, so now I'm working on the water. Now I've got two colors that are next to each other, so I'm keeping an eye so that they don't bleed too much into each other. And if they do, you can just grab a piece of paper towel and sop that up, or use your brush to do that, to stop the mixing. So you don't have, too much that's going on. Where I really have a mixing is when I add the brown into the background. You can see that coming into the water, and you saw that I was picking it up with my brush to stop that. Because again, I'm not using a lot of water putting my colors down. And I do apologize. Every once in a while, I zoomed you in so that you can see this, but every once in a while I get pretty low into the screen. So I apologize that and realize it and push it back up. Yep. For the area just in behind the rocks and around the otter, I'm adding different shades of golden browns and yellows just to get that texture look to it. And again, you don't have to add a lot of color to this. What's great is you're not creating your own landscape. It's already there. You're just adding the different colors to it to bring that image to life. And as it dries, I just add a little bit more. And just by adding that one shade, because of the stamp and those fine dots that give the shadow, it already looks like you've added a different color to that. So I think these stamps are great for beginners when you're looking to watercolor, when you're looking to use your colored pencils. They're great for just any coloring medium to have a play to see, you know, where those shadows are and how far back or how far deep you want to make them. I'm using a different shade of blue for the sky and just really feathering that out with some clean water up through the panel. And then just coming in with some finer details to really highlight those shadows for the otter himself. I just think he's really cute. And following the lines of the dots. Now, I forget to zoom back out, so we get to see this up really close. I do use my heat tool to dry the image. Again, it doesn't take much, to not use a lot of water. And now I'm just going to mat my piece using my ATG gun, and I'm going to put that onto a black mat. This card is a 6x6 base, and I just go back and forth between a black mat, a craft color mat, and then again on a black mat as well. And you can make them to be different widths to get a different style of frame. Once I put this last black frame on, I'm going to put that down onto my 6x6 card base. And it looks like it's actually framed, and you can see, I remember to zoom you back out there. But you can see that you've got, you know, just a frame look. I'm priming up the black glaze pen, and I'm going to fill in the otter's eye and the nose. It's a nice crisp black. And then once that dries, I do go back in with a white gel pen dot to give the eye a highlight. I'm using the white gel also to add just a little bit of highlights to the water to make it look like it's rippling in. So adding a highlight just along the edges. And then I'm going to add some dot highlights to the rocks and also the, I'm going to call it a sandy area in front of those rocks. And it's just by doing dots. So almost like the way the stamp set is set in when you stamp it. I'm just accenting those colors or those areas with the white gel pen. Gives it a little bit of highlight and makes that image just pop a little bit more. So don't need to use gems or pearls or anything like that. A simple white gel pen is great to add those highlights to your card. Remember, with gel pens, don't press too hard. That pushes the ball back up. You want to use a light touch with it so that the gel ink can flow through the pen easily. And here is our image all completed and ready for the recipient. I chose not to add a sentiment. I think this will make a great note card so that I can put my message inside to whoever would receive this card. And it's ready for any occasion. As always, I hope you enjoyed today's project. I will have the stamp set that I use listed down below. Remember, it is available at Anthony's Paper Crafts, and you can get it in photopolymer or rubber, whichever you prefer. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, make sure you hit the thumbs up, make sure you ring the bell so that you'll be notified, and hopefully you'll be notified. But most of all, enjoy the process. Have fun creating. Play with those colors. Just have a play in your crafty space. And most of all, remember, always be creative, stay safe, stay well, and I will talk to you in the next one. Take care.